Hello everybody, happy Sunday. So today is my Sunday share of getting rid of the food in my house. Pandemic food. Right now I'm feeling really good because my freezer just has bone broth and a little bit of chicken soup. And my refrigerator is empty but for a quart of milk, and I bought these at the Dollar Tree. 22 corn tortillas, right? For $1.25. Okay. And I grabbed some of my pandemic food, which is my healthy choice vegetable and beef and vegetable, low sodium. So it's like, and then I added my Goya Estrella little stars in there. You just need a if you got corn tortillas, you could spray the pan if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just letting mine get puffy, and then I'm going to smack them down. And so what I added to my healthy choice can, where did I put it? Oh no, I'm not going to go in the garbage. Healthy choice low sodium beef and vegetable, which I got at the Dollar Tree when the Dollar Tree was still $1. It's going to go red hot on me when it's on low. Look at it. How I fight with this thing. They need to give me a new coil. That's what the problem is. There's no regulating it. But she's not going to listen. I got it on low. She's not going to listen. Anyways, I used my little Estrella stars from the Goya section, which were, I believe, 69 cents for a serving of 3. I made that last a month. My little stars. Healthy choice. Beef and vegetable. When soups were $1. Healthy choice and low sodium too. So heart healthy and healthy choice. I added a whole can of water to that to even wash out the sodium more. Plus, it's going to sound so strange, you guys. I strained the vegetables out into a colander and then put the juice separate and then added the water to the juice. And then I rinsed all the vegetables and poured them back in, and the meat too. I really don't want sodium. 0 sodium here, I think. That is completely off. If I even turn it on, it's going to go red hot. So let's see. What's in these bad boys? 20 milligrams of sodium. For a serving is 3. So I'm good. I'm at like 10 because I'm doing 2. Only 2 grams of fiber. 110 for 3 of them. I don't even want to know what's in these. Corn masa, flour, gum, all that stuff is bad. But gotta use them up. Alright, so the minute you see them, they should puff up. Mine's not puffing up. Why is mine not puffing up? Okay, so then I'm going to cut those up. What's left of them. Nice. That's what I want. I'm going to layer a pie pan, a 10-inch pie pan. I saw this on ways to get rid of corn tortillas. And I have one little box of breakfast banquet turkey sausage in my freezer still. So I'm going to steam that up and crumble it down on the stove with a little water and let it cook and crumble it up. And I have 5 eggs left that I have to use by the 15th. So I'm going to scramble them up. I'm going to line a pie pan with, I cut my corn tortillas in half, line the pie pan with that after I spray it, and then cook up the sausage that I have left. Add it to the egg with some paprika and cumin and chili powder. And onion and garlic. And then, not a lot. And then I'll add some Colby Jack that I have left and a little bit of Swiss that I have left. And then there will be nothing in my refrigerator. Nice. All right. First ones never work for some reason. I should taste. It's not toasty. I've never tasted these. I don't know. I don't really like corn tortillas. Bought the wrong kind. Yeah, they're done. They will go good with the soup. But I'm gonna layer it. Put sausage, some diced tomatoes, and one little mini, like one of those mini little cans still left in my pandemic box, Rotel, like a mild. I'm gonna throw that in there too. Bake it in the oven at 375, 400 for 30 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And that will last me the week. It's taking a while. I heard somebody talking about you can eat corn tortillas raw. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, oh no, you can. I'm like, no. You can make a wrap sandwich. No. Maybe flour tortillas, but she was insisting. She was like, oh no, they're already pre-cooked in the package, so you can do that. No thanks. I don't even like corn tortillas. But to get rid of these bad boys, I'm going to be making a lot of egg dishes. I'm going to be making like corn tortilla croutons. I'm going to be layering stuff. I'm going to be making little tacos. I'm going to make like a taco bake. I have tiny bit of ham left, and a tiny bit of Swiss cheese and Colby Jack. So I'm going to be making like a little casserole, and just get rid of it all. And so far I've lost 5 pounds. Really hard to lose that 5 pounds since it's been 2 years since I lost 5 pounds. But this will happen when your food stamps are cut off because somebody made a mistake, and your Medicaid, Medicare too, because it's all on the same card. So, like I've been telling people, I want to get off the system completely. I've been praying, Lord, show me how to get off this fuckery system that keeps you poor. It keeps you having enough food, waiting for your food every month. But God forbid if you make 2 cents, you're going to lose it. God forbid if you make 2 pennies, you're going to lose your housing. You know, it always evens up. You're just scratching the surface. God said, go back to work, Maria. There's nothing wrong with you. Go back to the job you love. But I can't do that job without the proper shoes. And clothing. I'm not talking about Goodwill shoes. I'm talking about I got a drop foot. I got spondylosis, scoliosis severe. I'm twisting, I'm fusing. Very uneven. Orthopedics, I paid $700 for orthopedic inserts that a doctor ordered to go in my shoes that looked like little clown soles when I got them. To wait 6 weeks. Go get fitted. I had to step in some clay stuff to get fitted. And they were really hard sole things when I got them. They were like so big they wouldn't even fit. You had to cut them and then put them in. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. You have our laboratories. You've got to be kidding. $700. I finally got some of it co-paid because I'm pre-diabetic, so I guess they like take $300 off if you're pre-diabetic. But they were the wrong thing. I needed the shoes that are built up. So there is a place called La Tempo Orthopedic Shoes that will build up your shoes, work shoes, running shoes, like everyday shoes and your work shoes. And they're not like the back in the day, the old, I want to call them polio shoes or cripple shoes. They're not like that. I mean, you do have a bigger heel, but it's sturdy, and they get a prescription from your doctor, and they can like bring my right side up because I have a drop foot, and as I stand, it drops more. My toes go like this, and then you just can't even get it in a shoe. But if I have the proper insert with the lift, I can walk. I really thought it was the Achilles heel torn and the metatarsal bones crushed that caused my heel to stop going up, because your Achilles heel lifts your foot. But actually, when they looked at my spine, they said, no, you're way past 45% in your lumbar spine, and you have an S shape, so your lumbar, your cervical spine is now starting to twist to the left, and your thoracic columbo is all the way to the right, which I know because I dropped down, my shoulder went down. So that just creates everything going down and weight around the middle. So part of my plan was to just get that weight off by doing 1 meal a day, moving more, standing correctly, getting a proper camera. If I want to do knitting and crocheting on tutorials, don't start. I have to have a proper way to do that. So I mean, it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you make one meal for yourself that you can stretch over a couple days and keep busy. It's not ready yet. Cook for me. You almost got to put it on medium and then have the burner go crazy. That's not even medium, that's low. But anyways, the only reason I have a knip about this getting too hot is it sets off these. It shouldn't, but it does. You said all fire stop things. It sets them off. Because it's the actual coil that needs, you can see the little dingies in the coil. It's completely washed, but you can see it's in a new coil. I have a little notification coming in about something. Hang on. No, I don't want to see your video. So I just did a knitting video that was kind of long, where I was playing with my camera after wearing it on my head on a baseball cap, and I'll show you very quickly while it's cooking. This is my little Logitech camera. This is the cap I wear when I'm trying to knit, with this on my head, with this on it, which has made a permanent dent in my head and gives me a horrible headache. If I put it on there, I have to twist into a pretzel to get my hands. Yeah. I tried all kinds of creative things, like duct taping it to a window over my hands, like standing at the counter here and opening my cupboard and putting it like here, and then standing close like this. I really just need a camera that I can set up, like tripods I've tried. It needs to be behind me. So there's nowhere I can put it behind me or on me or on my head. So I've been trying to put sweaters on that I'm sweating and putting it in pockets on me. Yeah. So anyways, this is my Sunday share. That video is being uploaded, and I talk about DID, MPD, and what I have learned that I hope you never do if you are diagnosed with DID, MPD. And maybe some therapists out there can learn that talk therapy forever just doesn't work. In fact, talk about a thing forever and just make it worse. It's like going back to visit your vomit, which you can only sit with a thing so long, and eventually the numbers will grow, because you're just re-traumatizing yourself over and over and over again. And unfortunately, back in the day, in 1986, when I was diagnosed, it was talk therapy. And give them a medication to help them not be too stressed out so they don't switch. And then bring out all their personalities and introduce them to them and all their personalities know, which is nonsense. Don't do that. Don't do that, you guys. Okay, so I'm not saying you weren't abused. I'm not saying you didn't have trauma. I'm saying that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 5 million different alters, aspects of yourself, and it doesn't stay that way forever, and it doesn't affect your memory in the here and now. You are being given permission to say, I don't remember. I don't remember I did that. That must have been another personality. Yeah. And if anybody says they don't do it, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. So I give a lot of really cool tips in that video about grounding, about step 1, admitting that you're a part of the problem. Yeah, you're not a victim, you're part of the problem. Step 2, how to begin the integration process of bringing yourself back to you, all of yourself back to you, and not having to go talk about the damn trauma over and over again. Will it come up every now and again? Will you get triggered? Sure. But move away from the damn trauma. Move away from it. And never stop working and go on Medicaid so that you could keep going to talk therapy for your whole life. No. So your doctor can say, you seem a little different today. I wonder if somebody's here that wants to talk to me. You seem more like Tony today. You don't seem like Maria. You seem more like Joanna today. You don't seem like Maria. I know you're here, but I thought it would be best if I met with Celie, Joanna, and Astrid today. Go away. Bring them back. Okay. If that's the kind of fuckery therapy you are in right now, buffoonery and shenanigans and fuckstery, that's all they knew back in the day to do. But now they know better. They know that most people are just made up of a whole lot of experiences and aspects of themselves they might not always be aware of, but that doesn't mean you have amnesia or your memory's no good or you behave poorly or any such nonsense. Not what it means. Doesn't mean you become different people and that your accent changes, your hair changes. It's all... Are there different accents? Are there different blood pressures? Are there different behaviors? Yes. But it's not like you actually become a different person. So, you've always had these aspects with you. You just accept and own it, the accountability of your own behavior. Ow, why is it so hot? Oh, it's on the wrong one. Oh, I had a feeling I did. Wrong burner. Wrong burner. Shoot. Did I just burn my stock pot? I had a feeling. I turned that one on too. Because I was going to switch my pan to the back. I got talking. Alright, it's okay. I didn't burn the house down. Burning down the house. I was going to put the soup over there to... I'm going to do that. I don't trust this burner. I'll just leave that there. And then later today I'll have a cup of soup with... These will be chopped up and in my soup. And I'll shred a little bit of Colby Jack. Right? That's it. Taste one now. I can't eat till 3 o'clock anyway, so I'm wrecking it by eating now. What you doing, Justin? They're good. Be silly, be raw, rage, roar, yell, scream, curse, and then own it. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to not agree with your relatives, with your loved ones. You're not being obstinate. You're just having a different opinion. It's okay to not conform. It's okay to see a thing differently because in your realm of reference from everything you've always experienced, it is different. It's okay to have low trust levels because you have been misused by so many people. It's okay to listen to your gut, which is telling you, I don't want to be around this person because I got an icky feeling. Trust that gut. It's your God guidance. Again, it's your God guidance. Your gut is your God guidance. It's your mini brain that you're not in touch with all the time. Anyways, so I'll be making more videos about how I integrated. Doesn't mean you're going to integrate the same way. But what I learned from way too many years of therapy and believing I was broken when I wasn't. And I'll be reading vignettes from Talking Houses. And the reason I named my book Talking Houses is poetry, prose, and little vignette novelette parts of it. That what I saw my life as is getting interrupted constantly and parts of me left in houses I lived in where there was trauma and drama and no going back to. Part of my therapy with my therapist, I do have to say, was going back to those houses and just kind of visiting them. Very cathartic. What else? Going back to the basements, the closets, the rooms, the places that I hid. My mother hid me. Bringing the hope chest into my house that my mother hid me in when she thought people were going to come take us kids away and then her away. Living with that right in my home. It was very therapeutic. I'm sure people thought, what the hell are you doing, Maria? Yeah, this is my coffin. Oh, and I know I have family members that just don't want to hear it. Well, too bad. I was there. I was 3 and 4 years old in this hope chest. Because my mom believed they were coming to take us away. And they did come to take her away. They did. And they did take me away too. She knew she was crashing and burning. She knew my father was planning and my uncles to have her locked up. So when my brother would be out, she pretty much figured my brother was 2.5 years older than me. She pretty much figured it would happen when I was home with her because I was the youngest. So she would have me practice getting into the hope chest and closing it, being really quiet. And cubbies, all kinds of things, closets. And it was like a game. Like, you're going to stay in there. And when you hear footsteps, man, I flinched at everything when I was a kid. I did. But you don't have to. And keep your therapist as a go-to person when you've used all your tools and it's not working, something new comes up in your life. But here's the thing. If you've been diagnosed with DID, multiple personality, back in the day, it was just talk therapy. It was thought there's nothing they can do for you or anyone that has it. And this is going to be my 1 meal a day. And I'm going to put some Colby Jack on it. And all of that comes to 600 calories and 200 milligrams of sodium, and it will be nice and filling and satiating because I put the little stars in there. And there's lima beans in there, and there's beef, and there's carrot, and there's corn chips. So I've got the crunchy, I've got everything going on in there. And that will be my all-day soup. All day. I have some here I gotta scrape out. I should put it on the top, but I'm gonna mix it up. You could use Colby, cheddar, whatever. If you want Parmesan, use that. If you want Swiss, I don't care. Whatever you want, throw it in there. If you don't want cheese, don't do it. Okay. Oh, what can I tell you? What can I tell you quickly? It should never be a lifetime of therapy. If your therapy is going back and looking at the trauma all the time, and then having to come home and process it, going back into that sinkhole, that septic tank, that rabbit hole, going down that rabbit hole, getting stuck with all those feelings, you're just making your body sick. Okay? So if you're not being taught grounding, mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy tools, didactyl, and a really good one is somatiform experience therapy. Really good. Meditation, EMDR. My therapist did do EMDR. But mostly, here's the main thing. You cannot get well if you are thrown into one trauma after another all over again. It just doesn't happen. If you're trying to get well from trauma, your past, and you've been diagnosed DID, MPD, complex post-traumatic stress, which actually not really there, but people are using that label. If all of a sudden your kids are not living with you, you're not able to work, you're physically ill, you lose all your income, what are you really going to therapy for? What is the therapist faced with? Putting out fires every day like, oh my God, this person is severely depressed now. They're grieving. They can't get back up. You can't take everything away and say, you sit down, stay there, don't move, and you'll be okay. Just keep taking this medicine and going to your therapist. No. Don't try to work. It might be too hard. No. Don't. No. You can go to church if you want to, if it makes you feel good. Oh, wow. You're going to have to go on welfare now. You're going to have to go on disability. Try to live on that. You're going to have to go on food stamps. And no, I know you had Blue Cross Blue Shield. I know you had Blue Choice and all that, but now you got Medicaid. And now you're getting the Medicaid to go to the therapist. And your doctors are just giving you pain medicine because your body is in pain all the time. Why? Because you're grieving. Behind every angry, raging person is deep hurt, pain, and sadness. Behind every depressed person is anger at other people and at themselves. So you cannot enter into therapy. I just talked to a gal the other day. I think she was at her 26th week of pregnancy, and she had DID, and she really worked hard with her husband to not sure if they should have children because she was really having a lot of switchy splitty, and really where she lived in the UK, they have what they call carer, where the husband is paid to stay home and take care of the wife or somebody in their family or somebody whatever, and they're called carers. And they're like peer support, and they go to their therapist, and they go to day treatment, they go, and they, in the UK, the way they've got it working out now is most people are told, get to know your alter aspect egos, and when you disassociate, they'll be out and about, and you won't remember. Do you know how vulnerable that makes you? Anybody can say anything about you. So she was terrified about having a child because anybody could say anything about her. She knew she wasn't switching anymore. She knew she was of sound. I mean, she was, and she said, I've always been of sound mind. I feel like I have to constantly keep track of myself and prove that I'm me. that I'm doing that behavior, that, but other people want me to become those alter aspects, the dog and pony show. Other people are looking for it. So I think she got to like 28 weeks pregnant, really healthy pregnancy. And she finally got to the point where she could brag about it, take pictures and everything. And then she had a miscarriage. And she had to actually deliver that baby. She went into premature. She had to deliver the baby. They had to induce her. It was horrible. It was some kind of chromosome problem, like from her husband's side of the family or something. Because when you miscarry after 20 weeks, it's kind of usually something else going on, like in the development. And they usually can see that now with ultrasounds, which is good. So they can take care of it. But anyway, she was on the top of the world at 28 weeks saying, oh my God, I'm finally going to be a mother. This is happening. I got my life back. I got support. I'm okay. And the miscarriage crushed her. And so she went back to therapy for the miscarriage, and right away the doctor started talking about the alter aspects. And sure enough, they were all back. One by one, I started making appointments to come into therapy. Talk about how they feel. And now her system group had babies. Yes, because her baby died. So now she was creating. So if you learn to create from trauma what you need, what you lost, if you learn to create that person that can stand up to the abuser, if you learn subconsciously to create, it does continue. And so now the therapist was really dealing with a mother grieving. But she's right back down in the rabbit hole with lost integration. And I just got off the phone with her. I said, no, you've been told you lost your integration. You're fine. You're grieving, which is what you should do. You don't need to pass off your grief, your days of pain and shame and bewilderment and why God and all that to another alter. You can own that. So I'm just giving you examples of how it can happen. And in my life, I was just told, my family was told, it's just going to get progressively worse. Secondary survivors, my family that was supporting my children, primarily caring for them. And everyone was just told, it doesn't get better. It just gets worse. Just go to therapy forever. I'm here to tell you it gets better. It was better a long time ago, and I allowed myself to just keep being a good girl and going to therapy. And yes, kids do start to look for any change they see in their mother, and partners do too, and employers do too. And that yes, they do believe the media depictions of stigma. So please join my channel where I'm going to talk about self-imposed conservatorships, guardianships, secondary survivors, integration, and really buffoonery in psychology, and proper tools that you need instead of just talk always. Go back and visit the trauma. I'm going to talk about how we never lose a thing in our brain. You don't go through a trauma and forget it. You forget the feelings and the details because the details bring up the feeling. So an alter aspect ego, part of yourself that took over and you don't even know how you got through the trauma, when you disassociated, they might have all the feelings and more of the detail. But that's all they got. You always knew you were abused. It's not like it repressed, like it's pushed back down. But it's not like you forgot it and you went and recovered it in therapy. Recovering memories is way different than somebody going to therapy who always thought they had a wonderful life. Now they're a little anxious or depressed or whatever. And they come out and say, oh my God, I always had this feeling that happened, but I was abused. And now it's not just one or two times. Now it's like, it would always happen. And the story grows. and then the numbers grow of alters and aspects and egos. That's not how it happens. That is manufactured. That is what creating hysteria in Joan Aikello's book is talking about. And the Me Too movement has not helped that. Men don't know whether to scratch their balls or their mustaches or their faces or their head. They don't know what to do. If they don't hold a door, they do hold a door. If they kiss you, if they don't kiss you, it's all gotten a little too much, don't you think? So, my channel is going to be breaking that all down so we can make sense out of things that don't really make sense, do they? But we're believing fairy tales. So, I can only give you my experience. Please subscribe so I can get a thank you button, so I can get back on my feet and get the proper shoe I need instead of having to wear even-ups, braces. I want to get back to the job I want to do, and I have to be able to walk to the bus and stand and go. And I want to get off the system. So I want to be able to earn enough that I don't have to worry about losing everything. Okay? Because if you earn a little too much, you lose your subsidy for your housing. If you earn a little too much, you lose your food stamp. If you earn a little too much, you lose your medical. So they just want to keep you right here, graveling. Don't do it. Don't go on the system. If you do, well, let me put it this way. If you do go on the system, temporary. If some doctor is telling you, oh, well, you need your Medicaid, how else are you going to come every 6 to 8 weeks for this and that because this is chronic? Or you need your Medicaid because how else are you going to do your therapy? And I really need you to get Medicare, so you should go on disability. No. Say no. Say, I'm going back to work. Somebody tells you to get in bed for 6 weeks and stay there because they made a mistake when they operated on you and you're bleeding, tell them no. Why don't you fix your mistake? And I'm serious about it. So please join my channel and we'll talk about all of it. And I'll give you lots of good 1 meal a day. We're making it stretch for a family meals frugally on like less than a dime. Literally less than a dime. In order to get off of the system, you have to have enough of something to not have to use cash. In order to get off of a drug, you have to have enough of that drug to taper off. So in order to get off of food stamps, you have to have enough food stocked up to hold you over. In order to get off of Medicaid, you have to have a nest egg of cash for co-pays until you could be working in a situation where you have health insurance. Okay, and then I've got a whole lot of knitting and crocheting ones that I'm going to be doing too. I hope you'll join me on my channel, and I do talk about pop culture, politics, and I do talk about my God-given guidance, which I know is from God. And right now, I know that Anne Heche was not on vodka, alcohol, and I know she did not do any powder. She wasn't on drugs. So I'd like to say to Dr. Drew, please stuff it. You said that Prince overdosed himself? No, he didn't. No, he did not. He was murdered. And I'm going to put it out there right now. TMZ was chasing Anne Heche. Anne Heche had been being followed ever since she started speaking up about her relationship with Ellen, what Hollywood did to her, how they canceled her. She was actually stopping and calling people to bring her a change of clothes so that the paparazzi would stop following her so she could go in disguise. 5 minutes before the crash, she went into a salon and tried to get a blue wig. And when the owner said, that's not available, she said, I'll take the red one. She was trying very hard to get away from paparazzi following her, which is why TMZ is thirsty. Okay, I'll leave it there. Take care, and my prayers to Anne and all of her family. Bye-bye.